So I wanted to come on and share a little bit about my story as I always get messages and calls where women want to reach out and they want to talk and they want to hear about my experience and they want to share what they're going through. And I'm always here to answer questions, to help in any way that I can, because I've been there and I know what it's like, and it's scary. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, or if you don't have anyone that's willing to talk about certain things, as I'm very open and I have friends that have gone through it and they're not so open and everything is personal. So I get that and respect that. I feel moved to stand up, to raise my hand, to speak, to share my experiences, be it, domestic violence. I'm happy to, not happy that I have to, or, that I can. I'm happy to connect with anyone that needs, help there. And more so even about, breast cancer, and that whole process. In October of 2023, 10/10/23, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. How did I find it? I was at the gym and I pressed on the bench and I felt something, and I didn't think anything of it, because when I would get my period it would kind of go away and then come back. Needless to say, I felt it before September, before October, before September, but eventually I went, and it was, not fun to hear those words, the words that will definitely change the rest of your life. Won't change the trajectory of your life unless you allow it to, but it definitely puts things into a completely different perspective. I don't have children, so I can't imagine the perspective that puts things in, because I know that for me it was challenging. So I can only imagine what it's like for moms to go through it. What was so hard for me was the potential that my time was up, and that I got what I got, and I did with what I was given with what I did, so that was very hard for me, very, very hard for me. It was very hard for me to realize that I may never have children, just because if I don't live, then it's not going to happen. And, dealing with chemotherapy and radiation, you just don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, and that's the scary part and the most uncomfortable part in all of it. Then comes all the decisions that you have to make from a fearful place, right? You have to decide major life decisions in a place of fear, anger, rage, disbelief. It's almost like you want to run away and pretend that it's not happening, but it's happening. And depending on who you have around you, you can either talk or you can't talk. And then for me, I didn't want to talk. I just wanted to process it. I didn't want to hear people's opinions, their stupid questions, their stupid comments. I just needed time to process it myself. But unfortunately, at stage 3, I didn't have as much time as I would like to have had, and I don't even know if I had more time, it would have made a difference in anything that I felt. But what I agreed to was chemotherapy. I was diagnosed 10/10. I started chemotherapy 10/27. This is all in 2023. It was ACT chemo. So for 4 weeks, every other week, I would go in and get what they call the Red Devil. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be the first time. I actually went in on the 27th, had my chemo, felt great. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Felt great, meaning like afterwards I didn't, feel like I thought I would feel. The whole process is scary, uncomfortable, different, and everyone reacts differently to everything. So my experience won't be your experience won't be the next person's experience. But the one thing we all do have is a little bit of fear, or a lot of bit of fear, and we just want to know what's going to happen. Is my hair going to fall out? Like, we just want to know. And everyone's different, right? And everyone's experience is different. There's different chemos. My chemo isn't your chemo, isn't any chemo. And what I'm not going to do here is I'm not going to sit here and say what you should or shouldn't do, what you should or shouldn't take. Everyone's cancer journey is a personal journey, and when people do reach out and they want to talk about certain things, you have to choose what's best for you, because you're the one that has to live with the decision and the effects and the possible effects, right? So no one can make that decision for you, and no one should make that decision for you. And everyone should respect your decision, whatever your decision is. So I'll say that. I will say, if you have the option to get cold capping, that you should try it. And if you can endure it, continue to endure it, as it made a huge difference for me. I did lose some hair, and you can go to my Instagram page where there's photos. I've done testimonials for Paxman Scalp Cooling, huge fan of theirs, and I'm just very, very thankful for the Paxman family and their dedication to the technology and their work. If you can endure that, endure it, because even though your hair may come out, it won't all fall out the way that it will if you do nothing. And it does preserve the hair follicle. And for me, in making the decision, it was that it was going to help the regrowth. So you can see my photos. I'm happy to message you photos. I'm happy that I did it. The hardest part for me was the losing of the eyelashes and the eyebrows, because you don't realize how much it frames your face until you wake up and they're not there. And it was really striking to me. I didn't realize it until I went to a friend's birthday party, and there was a photo taken of me, and I looked at the photo, because up until this point, this photo happened in February, I thought I looked the same and that you couldn't tell that I had cancer. And I saw the photo, and I was just like, I actually started bawling in private at home. And my one friend, Joyce, said, we're not gonna lose you now. You're good. You made it all the way here to February. You have a little bit more to go. Push through, and your eyebrows are gonna grow back. And I became very obsessed with eyebrows for a long time, and they come back. The eyebrow lashes and eyebrows come back. I had another friend, Alexa, who got me this serum. I don't know if it worked. I believe it worked because I had eyelashes. So there's a lot of pieces to it, and I'm kind of jumping around. But going back to the chemo part, it takes a lot out of you, and you're gonna feel amazing until you don't. And all I'm gonna say is prayer, and I did a lot of visualizations. Something I want to go back to in life, as it becomes normal after, your new normal. And I didn't realize that, had chemo on the 27th, Halloween was on the 31st. I stayed up, I was handing out candy because I just wanted to be a part of it. I wasn't gonna let cancer dictate my life, and I didn't up until the end. But that night I got pretty sick. I had a really bad headache, and there's a lot of different side effects for chemo. For me, when I agreed to it, they went to read the side effects, and I said, no, thank you. I said, because in my choices that I made, there was not an option for me not to do it. So I was already committing to it. So it didn't matter what the side effects were, because death obviously is a side effect, and death is also a side effect to cancer. So in the moment of my decision making, that's how I reconciled it. And I, did it. And I didn't want to know what any other side effects were, because it wasn't going to help me, right? So I wanted to focus on the positive. I prayed to God, and I just wanted to be treated normal. So I went to the gym every day. I only told a handful of people at the gym because I needed help spotting towards the end. I also wanted people to help me if something bad happened, like if I passed out. I couldn't run, I couldn't do cardio. When I attempted to, I think I almost gave myself a heart attack. So I stopped immediately. And, my oncologist said, you'll know what you'll be able to do. And I did. I just rested a lot, I prayed a lot, meditated a lot, visualized white light pouring into my head and my body, did Reiki or had Reiki done to me, and just slept a lot and respected that time. Had 4 sessions of the AC, and then the T is the Taxol. It was supposed to just be 4, so essentially I was supposed to have 8 chemotherapy treatments every other week, so not very long. That day I had about 15 minutes in, I had a severe allergic reaction. I won't get into the details. No matter what, they brought me back and they ended the chemo. Then I had to come back the next week, and then I was on a different chemo, which is Abraxane, which insurance makes you have an allergic reaction before they will cover the other one. Thank you so much. We all appreciate that. So then I had to do weekly Abraxane, and then that pushed back my chemo final date. So I was supposed to be done, I think it was 2/2/24, and then I ended up having to be done March 15, 2024. I was really upset because I wanted to just be done. I just wanted to balls to the wall, be done. But everything works out the way it's supposed to, and it was probably better for my whole system and body to have it done that way. So after you're done chemo, you go through the MRI where they, check the tumor, and it was my right breast. This is my left breast. She's normal and natural in there. The tumor had shrunk. The cancer didn't stop growing, but it had slowed the growth. But there was a little piece of tumor by the nipple, and instead of doing the promised or anticipated lumpectomy, I was told that I needed to do a mastectomy, that he wouldn't even consider doing anything else because he said if there's a little piece here, it could be anywhere. And I looked at the visual and I said, okay. Like at that point, like in my mind, I'm like, why didn't we just do that to begin with? But whatever. So I agreed to that, and I was gonna have a breakdown. So I asked if I could fly. They said yes. Could I leave the country? They said yes. I went to Turks and Caicos, and I spent a few days there. I think I spent 4 or 5 days there solo. I needed to clear my head. I needed to take photos of myself. I needed to reconcile that I didn't know what the future was going to hold. I didn't know what it was going to look like or anything like that. Was I going to feel like a woman? Was I going to feel sexy? Was I going to be sexy to men after this? Or, all the things, right? Because it's like my hair, my eyebrows, now they want to take this part of me. And I saw the MRI, I saw the scan, so I understood it. It's like all these things are going on where nothing is quite, logical. And, I came back and I was ready. So I never had anything before, like literally nothing wrong with me, no BRCA, no cancer, like literally nothing. They did the whole test on my blood, no markers, no nothing. So here I am at 38 years old, gonna go into major surgery, when the most major thing I've ever had done were like, wisdom teeth taken out. So I go in and I'm like, I guess it'll be like the best sleep of my life because I'm not gonna be awake. Have the best surgeons, they come in, they check on you, and they give you, some drugs so you're like calm. And I just remember them talking and then hearing Frank Sinatra because that's my go-to. And then I woke up asked for chocolate pudding, had chocolate pudding, probably not the right thing to have after surgery or really ever. And my boob was gone, but it was, they had implanted the spacer, which you get filled every week until it matches the other side, and you're happy, your plastic surgeon's happy. And then that just sits in there and stretches for however long it needs to stretch for, Everyone's different, so if you're going through this, don't get attached to my timelines or my experience, but I'm just sharing it to know so you can see someone on the other side, and also know that everything you're feeling is so normal, and so just so normal. So they stretched my boob. Then I learned that I had to have radiation. Had to, I don't know. I still don't know all the things, if I believe all the things, just because, you can go down so many rabbit holes. But how I reconciled it was, already done chemo, so what harm could it do? And how they basically said they were like, it's gonna sanitize the area. The lymph nodes, because it had gone to a lymph node, only one, no other ones. And they had taken out a few to make sure. They do that while you're open on the table so they can, they test and keep going and whatever. Not whatever, but, for the sake of making this video not too long, hopefully I can upload it, whatever. Where was I? I forgot where I was, but I don't want to stop this to rewind it. But anyway, I had to reconcile that. So, radiation. So I was researching radiation, and my employer at the time had mentioned proton radiation. So I was like, well, what's that? So I did research. And then I was dead set. I was like, I have to have proton radiation. I don't want regular radiation. And you can research it yourself. Some people say there's no difference, but if there's no difference, then why are their names different? So I don't know. Do your own research. That's what a lot of my stuff I share, and I encourage critical thinking. I encourage you to do your own research, and your own research should be far beyond YouTube videos and Instagram. It should be, whatever it is to you, whatever research means to you. So after that, I had to fight insurance for about 5-6 months, right? And I talk more about it in my book. So fought that, got that, did my proton radiation, 33 treatments, no pain. It got a little, maybe pain, like not pain from the treatment, like as it's happening, because it's beams. You don't feel it. Though a few times I felt like I could feel it, but they told me that I couldn't. But I was like, I think I would know. So who knows? But the treatment, no problem. You go in, you lay on a table. They played my Frank Sinatra for me. The setup was longer than the beams. And when I laid there, I honestly just thought of it as them giving me my superpowers. I said, this is activating my superpowers. And so, they would basically do, for me, my chest wall. And honestly, the hardest part about the radiation was seeing the children there. So no matter what I felt, I would just witness like babies and toddlers there. So it was just like that just made me feel grateful that I could be there, and whatever I was feeling, like I can't imagine what the parents were feeling and what that child was feeling. And I would just spend my time praying for them, honestly. And towards the end, it got, very red. It's like a sunburn, and I think it was like Thanksgiving. It was like the most painful it was, but I just smiled through it and, put my calendula cream on it, and, a little bit of the medicated cream that they gave me, because I was very against certain medications and just medication in general. Like not against it, I just have very strong constitutions and about certain things and beliefs that I will not put onto you. So I made the balance of what worked for me and what the doctor was happy with. And then I, finished on December 9th. I think it was December 9th, and I was done. And then you have to wait 6 months to finish and do your final reconstruction surgery, which I had in June. June of this year. holy crap, where they removed the scar tissue, they removed the old implant that was just there to stretch, and they put in the new implant. They did fat grafting for my inner thighs and fed it in there, and then I'm done, right? So what I thought would be a very quick process, and a process that I was trying to rush through from the start, you have cancer, okay, get it out, I want to be done and get back to my life. It took about 2 years. And and how long did it take for my hair to grow back from chemo? Maybe 6-8 months. My eyebrows came back eventually. They would come back and fall out and come back and fall out. Things take time, and you aren't really processing it in the moment because you're just trying to get through. And I wrote my book that's coming, and hopefully by the time you see this video, it'll be out on Amazon and my website, and you can get it and really get into the depths of the sea with me on it. You're not really processing it when you're going through it, because it's just so much, so heavy that there's moments where I'll sit here and I'll be like, in the moment I didn't think I had nausea, but then I'm like, wait a minute, I definitely did. I'd be sitting at a restaurant and all of a sudden I would be like unwell, where I would look at my mom and I'm like, I have to go now, and I would like leave. And it wasn't, so everyone just experiences things differently. And then I just have moments of like pure like anger and upset, like the fuck, like why did this happen, and why is this happening to so many women, so many friends? It just made angry, and I just want answers. And the questions that I ask specifically don't have answers, and I don't understand why they don't have answers. Why aren't certain things incentivized to find answers for? So I touch on these things, but I'm here to tell you that you're going to be okay. You are okay. And do everything that makes you happy, and that's all that matters. Don't care about what anyone else thinks. Doesn't matter. If you're not happy in a situation, if you're not at peace, leave it immediately. Life is so short, and we get what we get, and it's shitty to hear, and it's even shittier when you're in a situation and that reality becomes your reality. Just live and be happy, do the work and be at peace. Truly just be at peace. And if I can help and answer any questions, please make comments, send me messages. You can reach me through my website. You can reach me through my Instagram, Lighthouse Survivor. You can reach me here. I'm more than happy to answer questions. If you want videos on certain other things in depth, please just ask me. I'm happy to be here. I don't want anything that I went through to be in vain, so please ask me questions. I'll do more videos. I can talk about things that I did during chemo that 100% helped me. I talk about it also in my book, where I share my story, and then the second part of the book is resources, much like the first book that I wrote, where I tell you everything. I share everything, and the point and the reason of why I do that is take what works for you and leave the rest. None of this is prescriptive, right? Like what worked for me may not work for you. Part of what worked for me may work for you, and like there are no rules. So take it and try it, and that's pretty much what I did through everything. I will do some more video. I'll do a lot more videos, but I'll get into specifics, and I'll show you all the things that I bought, that I have, that I do. But please just take care of yourself, love yourself, and any negativity, cut it off, cut it out. Love yourself more than you love anyone and anything. And children are the best medicine. My godchildren got me through a lot. I'm just very thankful to be here. And again, thank you for the privilege of your time.